Hey, how's it going? My name is Alex, and that's correct. I did hire a dispatcher, technically a dispatch service. So in this video, I'm going to tell you how I did it and why, just like the title says. So first and foremost, guys, how selfish plug. Okay, got the literally, guys. I cannot make this stuff up. I went on the website. I was kind of angry after actually, let me restart that over. I've been dispatching my guy a month, like I did in this video. This was his first month recap, right? And so all month I've been dispatching my driver, and I realized that it messes a bunch of stuff up. So first and foremost, not only am I not a very good dispatcher, it also stops me from loading myself really well. It also stops me from editing or recording in YouTube videos because I'm always then on the computer looking for loads. And in general, it's just I had no time for anything else. Literally no time. So I realized that, if there's a chance for this business to exist, I need to outsource something. And obviously I can't replace the me in front of the camera, right? Put somebody else in here. It's like that's not gonna work. And obviously I still need to go drive and do the loads, so I can't do that either. Now one of that part I can replace eventually once we get to 3 or 4 trucks as a company. So that'll be exciting, but I can't do that right now. So and then really the only option I had was somebody else needs to dispatch. And so after my first month, I had a good. Now, the reason I was okay with dispatching for the first month is because I really wanted some numbers. Like, Alex, how good of a job can you do for that first month? And it turns out, mediocre maybe, right? Now what I can do is take that 1 month numbers and I can compare those 1 month numbers to a dispatch service. And I can see, hey, here's how much I did, here's how much money I made on that amount. You have to include your percentage on top of that rate per mile and on top of that gross revenue so that I can still be profitable and pay you as well. And so if the dispatcher delivers that, then I'm okay with getting the same results. And so basically that was my reasoning and my logic, right? And so what I did is obviously selfish plug, guys. My website, probably by far the number one asked questions. Alex, I want to lease under you. I'm not taking on any owner operators, unfortunately. Hey, well then where should I go? Go to the website. So that is literally what I did. So I used my own website. I made a new, not a new email, but I used a different email because I actually pay for my own website as well to look for drivers and owner operators. So I pay for that side, but I made a new email. I used a different email to sign up to create a new account. And I, typed in my information, my DOT number, saying I'm looking for a dispatch service. And sure enough, a dispatch service reached out, and he, his name is Clinton or Clint. Is it Clint or Clinton? I don't know. I think it's Clint. But anyways, so he was totally fine with showing me, right? First of all, he explained, one, he's been in business for a while. Two, he also what was it? He also was willing to show me. He's like, Alex, I dispatched 2 trucks right now. I can show you the reports on the rate per mile and the gross revenue per month for the last year. I can show you those numbers. And when you have a company that is willing to share that information and back up what they're saying with proof, that's somebody you want to work with, right? And so I was like, okay, great. Now the problem is, his company name is Boss Hog Logistics, and so the issue is, to be honest, he is at the higher tier, right? So dispatch services can charge, honestly, a dispatch service can charge whatever he wants, technically, but generally, they charge 5 to 10-ish to 12-ish percentages. And so my dispatch service is at the top of that spectrum, right? Or, I guess the spectrum goes like this, but anyways, so my dispatch service does charge a little bit on the higher side, which is okay because now he's been dispatching for 2 weeks about, and I've said it before, and the quote is, when you find a dispatcher that does a good job and knows what he's worth, that's a dangerous combination, right? And I literally told that to him on the phone when we were first talking, and really that's the truth. Dispatching is not easy. It is very, very hard and very mundane and boring. All you do is you stare at the load board and you analyze data. And so really, that is a challenging part of the job to outsource. And like I said in a previous video, this is also why I wanted company drivers, so that I can split up. You know, instead of the dispatcher having to worry about booking a good load, then he has to worry about, is the owner-operator profitable with that load? So to split up that functionality, I worry about being profitable. The dispatcher worries about covering the driver for a good load, and the driver worries about getting the job done. And so by splitting up those three things, not one person is a singular point of failure. And, well, I mean, maybe that's not the best way of saying it. Not one person is overly stressed about a certain thing, because, you know, with the owner operator model, right, it's like usually the company owner is the dispatcher, and the moment the company owner outsources the dispatching, the owner operators get mad and leave. And that's what happened at the company when I used to dispatch 5 years ago when I first started, that 6 months when I was a dispatcher. That's exactly what happened. The moment those company owners stepped off and they hired a dispatcher, several trucks left. And then they would have to train us and train us and train us. And then we would get good. And then when a dispatcher becomes good, what does he do? He goes and gets his own MC. That's exactly what I did. That's what all the dispatchers in that office did. So really, it is hard to have a dispatcher as an employee without or having to load owner operators, right? And so that's exactly why I'm going the company driver route. But so that's why I hired a dispatcher. That's how I found him. But I will be doing, you know, I really want to like show you guys like the difference between a dispatcher, like how good of a job he did, or in the past 2 weeks, and he will, compared to my month, right? I'm going to be comparing those in a future video. But what I want you guys to really take away is, it's totally fine to use a dispatch service. There's nothing wrong with that. And especially if you find a good one, keep in mind they are worth it. Now, if you hire a dispatcher and they're charging a premium price and they suck, well, that's a problem. Start looking for switch ups, or start seeing what's the issue, what's the problem, what's the holdup. Or I mean, if you have a new MC, obviously, you know, take it a little easier. You know, it's like you can't go day one MC and expect your dispatcher to load you up for 6K every week. It doesn't work like that. You know, if you're day one MC, then you're probably gonna get, you know, you're gonna struggle to get 2,000 to 3,000 a week gross revenue. And so that's why just understand where your situation is, and understand like what a dispatch service offers to your business. If not, then I would recommend you doing your own dispatching. I really do recommend that. Maybe at first use it just because there's a lot of carrier packets to fill out, which is really frustrating. But in reality, knowing how to dispatch yourself well is the most important thing you can do. So do I recommend a dispatch service? Absolutely. And where can you get one? On my website, obviously. And really, I'm excited what the new phase is of the business, because at the end of the day, I might be somewhat less profitable with a dispatcher, but in reality, I don't have to do the work though. Right. And so that's kind of exciting, because I think that's the only way I could scale, you know? And so hopefully that's the plan. Hopefully things go back to normal. I can get my trailers, I can get my trucks, and really we can, you know, grow this thing to 5 to 10 trucks, something like that, and see how it, you know, see how it turns out then. And, you know, so, but make sure you guys subscribe, because you know me, I'm going to share all the profits, the revenue, the losses, the mistakes, the errors. So make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.